Alright, let's see if this works now. Alright, let's see if this works now. Okay, it does. It's just the one there. Excellent. All right. What up, Jules? So sorry about that. So how's life and stuff, Jules? Just gonna wait a few minutes. See if other people get in here. What I didn't realize had happened is it switched to the wrong window. My monitoring window where I see the stream, excuse me, where I see the stream and the chat, and so that's why it looped inside itself. That's right, Marshall. And was it you, Marshall, that said there's multiple of me? Probably only needs to be one. A lot of people would say that there only needs to be one. And some might think one is too many, to be honest. As the kids say, TBH. Honestly, what up, MJ? Visagie? Is that how that's pronounced? Visagie? And is that an actual name or just a screen name, username? While we are waiting for the actual content, I'll go ahead and plug myself, phrasing. YouTube.com/coachstevemoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And for my other financial content, just scroll down. You get the Answering Your Financial Questions with Ramsey Solutions certified coach Steve Money. That is me. And that is the weekend stream. And that is moving. It used to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and now we're going to go to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time now because of college football. So, and of course this show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, this is number 388, and forgot to add 386 in there somewhere, but this is 388, and the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in it, so listen to those if you're so inclined. And one of those songs would be a song for the host today in the big chair. Let me know if you're hearing the music. I guess you know Dave, and you may know that he is a father. But Google tells me he has 3 children. This song's about one of his daughters, Denise and Daniel. Work from out of public life, but Rachel wanted crowds and cameras, face to face with those facing strife. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz for good advice that she learned in her youth. Talks about friends when she shows us how to be millionaires. Know yourself, know your money, love your life not there. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz. The Ramsey Show another Rachel whose show where you can see her. If that's not enough, then you are so lucky. The Smart Money Happy Hour. She hosts it with George. They have some drinks and a laugh. She wrote 3 kids' books, Smart Money, Smart Kids, and I'm glad for what I have and where I am. And I guess that's why we all want Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. Talks about friends when she shows us how to be millionaire. Know yourself, know your money, love your life, not theirs. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz. Hosts it with George, and they have some drinks and a laugh. She wrote 3 kids' books, Smart Money, Smart Kids, and I'm glad for what I have and am. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. Talks about friends when she shows us how to be millionaires. Know yourself, know your money, love your life, not theirs. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, mentioning Winston, mentioning conspiracies. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, mentioning Winston, mentioning Target. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, mentioning Winston, mentioning Tesla. And I guess that's why we all love Rachel Cruz. Alrighty. Cool, and the gang. Yeah, I didn't see Smart Money Happy Hour in a while myself, Marshall. Alrighty. And so she was a host, guest host, and in the pilot chair today, hosting, and co-host was John Deloney. And that is another song that is in that music playlist. Market report. S&P 500 and NASDAQ down today. S&P 500 down ever so slightly, 0.0039%. NASDAQ 0.23% down, but the market overall up. Small cap index up 0.66, and Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.59, and that's why you don't just invest in one segment. That's why you have the 4-way split instead of doing just in the S&P 500, because that way you get the evening out like this. And actually, if you have small cap and Dow Jones, you actually did more today. You're a positive gain today, because if you have if they're equal in all 4 categories, then you have beat. The amount that was up is higher than the amount that was down, and so you are a positive for today. Interesting on the NASDAQ. Let's check to see what NVIDIA had high estimates, and they beat the estimates in yesterday's. I cannot explain the Cybertruck. Speaking of mentioning Tesla, Tesla up 0.26 today. Yep, X shutting down San Francisco. They out of California. Let's see. Is it not in Nvidia? There we go. So Nvidia blew all the estimates out of the water, but then somehow they immediately went down yesterday after hours. Immediately went down, and you can see down another 6.38% today. So don't know what that's all about. The most followed single stocks on the Google here. Tesla 0.26, 0.28 for Meta, artist formerly known as Facebook. Amazon 0.77, Microsoft 0.61, and the Alphabet, which owns Google, 0.66, and the Apple 1.46. So I don't know what that. I mean, I guess the Nvidia was down, maybe some other chip manufacturers as well. But if you have a good chunk of these in your large cap mutual fund, then you might not be negative today in large cap, despite the fact of the NASDAQ being down 0.23. What up, Mila? Thanks for, yep, got it going back on. The problem was that my, I already explained. Yeah, it changed to my monitoring computer. And that's why it showed the stream within a stream within a stream within a stream. And I agree that was too many. Maybe, maybe two of me might be fun, but a little more than that, probably not so much. Let's check the rest of the planet, shall we? Everything up in Europe. Can't complain about that. Mostly up in Asia. Let's check the currencies. We got the US dollar up on the euro. We got the US dollar up on the Japanese yen. We have the US dollar up on the British pound, love. US dollar down, though, to the Canadian dollar just barely. And the Australian dollar, mate, up over the US dollar. Our pals doing crypto. AJ will be happy. Cardano's up. The rest of it down. Bitcoin just slightly at the moment. The trading on the virtual currencies does not stop. Like the market shuts down at 4 p.m. Eastern time. The crypto keeps going forever. Let's check futures. Futures, everything up for tomorrow. So not that much. 0.14 and oh no, there we go. NASDAQ kicking it, because I mean, once it goes like to a certain point, even if they're trying, even if the investors are spooked, the traders are spooked about something, if Nvidia goes to a certain point, somebody's going to buy it no matter what at that certain point. It just has to get to that certain point. But there's not really been an explanation of what they are worried about, because, I mean, unless it's that they think it can't keep that pace up, but you don't need to keep that pace up. You're just worried about now. But traders may be worried about too much stuff as well. That could very well happen. Alrighty, let's see if there's any fun news. As investors weigh Nvidia earnings, yeah, they were great. So why is it 6.38% down today? I do not know. Let's see. Open link in new window. Let's see what the after hours is looking like on that. After hours is holding steady at what it closed at, basically. Oh yeah, and look, because that's always fun where it does this immediate drop to there, and then somebody sold it right there, locked in those gains, and bought it all right back. Is probably what I'm guessing. Computers do that when it's like one line like that. really quick, and they'll say, well, I'm going to lock in these gains and I'll buy it at this low price. And then get it back like that. So that's possible. So yeah, so still, oh, so it's a little bit up in the after hours trading. Right there, 0.43%. So we'll see about tomorrow on that. What else were we looking at? Oh, looking at news. Ford walks back woke DEI policies, joining growing list of U.S. companies. Yeah, that's not capitalism, friends, that you are checking boxes to hire people instead of hiring the best people. That is dumb. I cannot explain the Cybertruck, so I don't know what that is all about. 7 people injured. United Airlines. Severe turbulence forces them to make an emergency landing. Fed's preferred inflation indicator is out Friday. Here's what to expect. And I think most people think there will be a rate cut in the September, which is not that far away. Time getting away from me here. What is that? 3 days away. X out again, like I said, X out of San Fran. Just too many taxes there and too many others. Speaking of woke policies, etc., and so forth. Let's see. Let's change to live chat. Would be good to change it to. There we go. Alrighty. City is developing the world's largest timber tower again. Okay. Meaning out of wood. And I guess that's it for news on there. Alrighty, let's get into some questions. How much do you spend on grooming? Spend one grooming. I think it's supposed to be on grooming. Is the value different between men and women? I would assume it is. Because you got nails that are involved with women, and for most women, it's probably not just a thing where like a man would go, and you're done, right? And women have other things involved there, and their hair styles and so forth, especially when you get here. I go to the barber and it's a one cut and they just go rear, rear, rear. Tried doing it myself and that did not work. Could not keep it even with a guide. So always pay for it now. Great clips. And sometimes they throw out an $8.99 coupon for that. And so that's excellent. But let's see. Yep. Depends on the individual man or woman, right? Because, yes, some men do get manicures and so forth. People like, for example, like some sports people get manicures so the nails don't get in the way of their sports, like pitchers and so forth. So, sure. Expert Rutabaga, 2355. How to put 15% into retirement? Well, how you do that is you do not spend it on anything else. You also do not do that until step 4. So, I had a guy in the chat earlier today, and you would think he looked at the baby steps. But then he said, should I pay off the house early or invest more? I see it saying invest 15% of your household income in retirement. That's gross household income. I don't see it saying invest more and keep your mortgage around like it's a pet. It does not say that. And so most questions can be answered by the baby steps, but like this particular person didn't want that to be the answer. And so, what the easiest thing to do is to, if you want to do what you want to do, no matter what the Ramsey advice is, then don't ask and just do it. But he and probably they usually know already because it's not that difficult to figure out. But let's see what the question is. And I did get called out by Sid today because I didn't wait until he was completely done explaining before, but it was still the right answer anyway. Of course it was. How to put 15% in retirement. I'm 25 man and I have a net of about 100K. How did you guys up your retirement savings? Also, I work full time and have a side hustle. Last March, my tax accountant told me to put 5K in an SCP, self-employed pension, okay, to reduce my tax burden. Generally, you don't bother with that. You're not trying to avoid taxes. You just want to make more money. And as you make more money, you're gonna have that. And so, I mean that gives the accountant something to tell you to do. So that gets them involved. But you could also not need an accountant. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you have your own business, you may need one to do the bookkeeping and so forth. So, I mean, I guess if you're paying him already, but generally, like to reduce the tax burden is not an issue. The same way you don't keep a mortgage around for the tax deduction on that because you're paying $1,000 to save a couple dollars on taxes, and that is not a good idea. I do the bare minimum, take full advantage of work's 401k matching up to 5% of salary. Should I up my 401k contribution through work or hold off and put it in the SEP or both? You should put it in a Roth account after the match, but there's 48 comments here. I don't know if there's further information like if there's debt, you shouldn't be doing any at all because again, you refer to the baby steps. Step 4 is investing, and step 2 is pay off all debt. So you're still down here. Steps 1, 2, and 3. And granted, it doesn't say this. Maybe they should put a bracket around each one of them or something like that, and then a bracket around 4, 5, and 6 since you do all those at the same time. I don't know how to easily do that without adding so many words to it. Maybe I'll add in all the stuff that needs. That's why I wrote the song, How to Do the Baby Steps Right, because that's all the stuff that people do wrong with the baby steps. And it's right here. It doesn't say to do what they're doing, but they do that stuff anyway. So yeah, if you have debt, you shouldn't be investing at all. So I don't know the full story here, but as always, you go match first with your 15%. You go match first because that's 100% return on investment. And then it's a Roth account of some type because that's tax-free growth. And that's going to be better than putting it in a non-tax-free growth. Because your growth is going to be way more than the expenses, than the contributions, if you have any significant time in the market whatsoever. Your growth is going to be way, way, way more than your contributions. So, and then you don't have to deal with taxes in retirement. So, and then anything left over after the Roth is maxed out, then you would go back to your SEP or 401k or what have you. Alrighty, financial peace from Interest Chaser. Well, we don't chase interest. We don't chase dividends. We don't do any of that stuff. You do want to make as much as you can overall, and that's more important than chasing a high dividend, because that doesn't necessarily mean making the most overall. Okay, and so Dave is not reading this. This is reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and Ramsey Solutions does not run this. And so, people do get confused about that sometimes. The only forum like this that Ramsey Solution runs is on Facebook's, and it's called The Ramsey Baby Steps community. So anything named anything else is just a fan group, not that one. And this is a fan group as well. Marshall has heard people refer to the steps within the baby steps like 3B. What are all those steps within the steps? All right, well, I am going to do a video about it, but it's basically, it's 3B would be right here. And I keep telling this story. One day, about like in last February, I opened up this page like I always do when I do streams, and it actually said 3B on there. It did say, it was put in here in order. You know, it looked just like, you know, the rest of it was a little bit smaller because they added the line for 3B, and it's saved for down payment. And that one is the only one really. The other missing one is baby step 0, and that's all the stuff that you need to do even before you start saving the emergency fund, the starter emergency fund, which would be the 4 walls. Certainly, you get those taken care of. Food, shelter, clothing, and transportation. You get on the same page as spouse. You decide you're not doing debt anymore, ever again. What else is in there? Insurances. If you're not current on payments, you get current on payments. And there are a couple other things in there as well. Let's see. I'm blanking on. I think I got most of them though. But it's just stuff like that you do before. And if you're married, that getting on the same page with your spouse about it is the most important thing. And that's also, you do that first. And then that way, if your compromise with your spouse is that you don't do the baby steps exactly like this, obviously this is the best way. This is the proven way, millions of documented times. But if your agreement, you and your spouse can agree to do stuff a slightly different way, then that supersedes the baby steps for you guys. So, because the marriage compromise is more important than doing it exactly the right way. Now, that's going to be the advice to do it this way regardless, but marriage agreement, marriage compromise does beat that. And while I was talking to waste time here, just to try to stretch it out a little bit, while I tried to think of another part of baby step 0, I was not able to come up one. But like I said, I am going to do a video on that one of these days soon. Here, now that I'm much better at editing. Still don't like it. That's why I do much stuff live. So there you go. All right. So financial piece from Insta Chaser Dave. I'm retired and waiting for a senior living facility to be built nearby in maybe 2 years. I am 79 and have $1.5 million from selling my commercial real estate that I'm trying to conserve for retirement there. Okay. And so that 1.5 should be generating, should be invested, and should be generating $105,000 per year. And you don't ever touch that 1.5. You don't need it because hopefully you can live on $105,000 a year. And if that's in a Roth, that's tax free. So that's going to be all $105,000. Let's see. I'm keeping it in various CDs, savings, and money market account. Oh, I see. Okay, so the dealio with him at 79, you know, and he may be using the money to live on already, and so you would not put that. I mean, you could maybe put 250 of it maybe in the market, but generally, I mean, 79, you might not want to do that. And so 79, you probably want to be more conservative and not do that. And so various CDs, savings, you can do a high yield savings, money market. Yeah, you can do all that, whatever pays the most interest. That's fine. I'm avoiding the stock market as a form of gambling. Okay. So it's not really gambling if you have the long term, see, but at 79, you're not working with the long term. So we don't know. We don't know. Hopefully you can make it over 100 and that'd be great. So, but that's 100, it would be 21 years from now. And so you want to make sure you have enough money. And that's why you would not put money into the market because it could be a downtime. So you have to have at least 5 years, which, depending on health, could easily make it 5 years, but it is very normal, and any non-Ramsey financial investor would probably just have them put it into other, safe stuff. They might have them in like other things like bonds or other stuff like that. But this is fine. Just you make whatever interest you can make on it. And then you just live off that 1.5 for the rest of your life there. Let's see. Where pros do basically the same thing that I'm doing, but better. The interest rates are dropping and it's a drag. Yeah. Probably going to drop further in September if the Fed lowers the interest rate. What would you do? I have a house payment but no other debts. Okay, so that's bad. You could pay off the house and then you don't have a house payment in retirement. We pay our credit cards off every month and enjoy the cash back. Not advised either. FICO, worried about even putting what your FICO is, worrying about it enough to put it there isn't necessary because we don't care about that. Cash for cars, that is advised. So I don't know what the question is. Let's see what the rest of it is. Boom, boom, boom. Takes advantage of every coupon, discount points from every food store, gas station, clothing company there is. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Boy, it's nice having money because we always live below our means. We can do things for the grandkids too. Chaser. Okay, so not really a question here. Just letting us know what is up. And that is certainly fine because you're older like that. When you're more like my age, I, on the other hand, I'm being more aggressive because I didn't start investing earlier because I'm planning on having enough time where the market's just not going to have a few bad years and it affect me negatively. Don't think that can happen at this point. So a couple negative years wouldn't hurt me at this point. So that would be the reasoning on that. Mindless Hurry 9169. Should I change jobs? Hello all. 21 man. No wife, no no wife, no kids. Currently work in IT and like the work I currently do. Excellent. The problem I feel is there just isn't enough work for me to feel busy. There are 2 other IT personnel, which leaves a lot of time where I have not much to do. I even ask for more work to do and I'll let you know when we have something. If you're making the same amount of money, regardless of how busy you are, that's up to you if you want to change jobs. So, I mean, if it's a good salary and you're making as much as you would make if you were constantly busy, and so it doesn't matter actually how much work you do, then that's your call on that. If you don't feel fulfilled like that, if that just weighs on you, if the day seems to drag on and on like that for you, then you should probably change jobs. Let's see, which can be hours or days where I'm stuck trying to find something. I just received a job offer today where I would be doing something different, comms and programming in oil and gas industry. Okay, which I know would be, which I know I would like. Well, if you haven't done it, maybe You might, there's always a chance you might not like it. Would be stable. Grass is not always greener on the other side. Would be stable. Would come with about 8 to 12K pay increase to start, as well as overtime and bonuses, and I would be busy all the time. The new employee benefits are maybe not quite as good as the current one. Well, you got to weigh in everything and then decide. I mean, being 21 and not having a wife or kids, you're in the perfect time to do that, because if it's a mistake, you still have so many more years to recover from the mistake. And so, worst thing that could happen is you'd have to change jobs again. What would Dave do? I don't know specific advice on that, but I think it would be something like that. That's going to be up to you. I'm sure he would like you to be constantly working as well, because he understands that. And yeah, some people, if they're just sitting around, they just that can make the day drag by not doing anything at all day. So I had a job kind of like that. I would find other stuff to do, like go in the Ramsey show chat, for example. Alrighty, contest interesting 21. All right, question on baby step 3. Okay, I'm gonna read it instead of just answer, because I don't know, because it just says question on baby step 3. I could guess, but let's just read it. We are on baby step 3 and have $2,000 out of the $15,000 emergency fund safe. Okay, pay this month will be about $5,000 higher than normal. Should I set this additional money aside to pay my property taxes, which are due over the next couple of months, or just put it in the emergency fund? I haven't been separately saving for the property taxes yet, since we just cleared out our debt a few months ago. Does it even matter, since it'll need to be paid regardless? If you can put all of that into the emergency fund and then just cash flow out of your income, the property taxes, do that. If you don't have enough extra money, if you do put that $5,000 in the emergency fund already, and then you won't have enough to pay the property taxes, and that's when you would want to at least keep some of it out. Maybe do half and half. So, but it doesn't matter. So by the time the next couple of months are over, both things will be done. The emergency fund will have as much as it can have in it, and the property taxes will be paid either way. So that doesn't really matter, but it's up to you to figure out whether you can just cash flow it. If you can just cash flow it, then there's no need to put it aside then. And then you should just put that money in the emergency fund. Unlucky friend, 5048, insurance for jewelry. Hi all, hi guys. I'm curious if anyone has heard Dave address this on the show, as well as what folks think about some guidelines for situations to add jewelry to a home insurance or renter's insurance policy. Yeah, that's where it would be. If it's crazy expensive, maybe you get a separate policy for something like that. But if it's just like your standard jewelry, it's worth whatever it's worth, that would just be included in the home insurance or renter's insurance policy. And so I was thinking about that, when that would be part of baby step 0, is you get all your insurances in place. And Dave does recommend you got to have home insurance if you have a mortgage. That is required. And you should have renter's insurance as well if you are renting. Specifics, partner and I are what you would classify as Henry. All right. High income, not yet rich. All right. It's not really Henry. That could still be Henry, but it would be with an I, not an E there. All right. So there you go. Where's all the money going, yo? To the jewelry? Where's the money going? That would be the first thing I would ask if they asked me any type of question whatsoever. Like this, they didn't ask about their budget or anything like that. I would just ask, where's the money going? Why aren't you rich yet? In the past few years, our incomes have shot up. Okay, so recent pay raise, that answers that. But due to our chosen career paths, they were low for a while. Ages, to be vague, all right. We are between 35 and 45. Okay, I don't know that you need to keep your age a secret unless somebody can figure out who you are just from the age. But anyway, 35 to 45, household income, $400,000. My mind is blown by this, but as it is newer, we don't have a ton of assets relative to this income. Okay, I got it. Let's see, debts, just our mortgage. Great. Net worth combined about $1.6 to $1.7 million, with about half of that in retirement accounts. Okay. Jewelry, not a lot, but wondering if insurance for the jewelry. Yes, that should be part of your home insurance. Should put that on that. You can get like you can just include it in the amount there, or you can do a rider on that as well for that for like specific items, that kind of thing. What up, Misty Bikini? What up? Thanks for dropping by. Much appreciated. Lagrange squared, keeping car insurance low. So here's my situation. For reference, we're on baby step 3, and up till now we were expecting to finish in about 6 months. Had $15K in emergency fund and $9K in car sinking fund. Since we were expecting to replace one of our 2 cars anytime soon. Okay. But S happened. That will happen. That will happen. A few weeks ago, I caused a minor car accident. Distracted by the stresses of the day, I unknowingly ran a red light only to notice incoming traffic. I was unable to slow down on time, crashed against 2 cars, totaled my own, still somewhat new car. Thankfully, no one involved was seriously injured, and my car had the most damage by far. Okay, I replaced the car using the reimbursement from insurance plus $3,000 from the sinking fund, and opted to pay the fine and take driving courses, I guess. So you get a little bit of, let's see, driving school to get rid of the points. Okay, not 10 days later, screwed up again, this time failing to notice a flashing school zone sign and slowing down too late. Oh my goodness, that's not fun. So I was given 2 citations of speeding ticket in the school zone, and apparently the registration also expired. So I need to pay more attention to everything, to paperwork and everything involving when you're driving. Need to pay more attention. I renewed it the same day, expired the month after I have birth, and the month after I gave birth, maybe, and the month after that was filled with an emergency visit, so it slipped our minds. I can't take driving school this time, so if I want the points off, I need to go to court and essentially plea for a reduced penalty or mercy on the points. You can. They don't have any reason to do that, and 2 right in a row there. I don't know about that. Or else the insurance will get even higher thanks to an at-fault accident and 2+ citations. Yeah, that's the way it works. That's why you want to not do those things. That's why you want to be more careful when you're driving. Here are my questions. I consulted a lawyer, and that's exactly who you should consult. He is charging $750, not including court fees, to deal with the 2 tickets and remove the points. And he may not even get those removed, dog. Is this too high? I don't know about what lawyers charge for stuff. I could also represent myself in traffic court, but how hard is it to do that? That I do not know. I've never had to do that. So that I do not know. But yeah, how you keep your car insurance low is you pay more attention. Especially after you have one incident, you think you would really be vigilant on the lookout for things like school zones and stuff like that. Boom, boom, boom. Marshall says pay the first said person needs to stop driving. That's right, Uber. And second said they should pay the lawyer. Yeah, I mean, maybe like some lawyers have a deal where unless they fix the situation, they don't charge you. Probably not with this particular case, but some kind of things they have that dealio. Advertising C6060, help! I need somebody, help! Little pitchy dog. Miss T Bikini, you missed me singing earlier. Sang the Rachel Cruz song. Don't worry, you can listen to it in my music playlist on youtube.com/coachstevemoney though. Debts, braces, 2,900 auto loan, 21,000, excuse me. Braces, 2,900. Cash on hand, 20,000. It goes to pay off the braces immediately. And then whatever's left, other than $1,000 that you keep for your starter emergency fund. See, new enough to come to the Ramsey subreddit, but did you even look at this? This would seem to handle it. This would seem to handle the situation, but people can't figure it out sometimes because they can't get their head around having only $1,000. Probably. That's not enough. Not supposed to be enough. I want to start the baby steps, but I'm afraid of depleting my cash reserves. Not supposed to have any cash reserves while you start the baby steps. You want to do the baby steps, or do you want to have cash reserve? You can choose that. You don't have to take Dave's advice. Most people will not. So you can be normal, or you can be weird like the rest of us here. And you can do the baby steps and just out the $1,000 emergency fund. What if the economy crashes and I get laid off? What if it doesn't? Okay, now if there's a real danger of you getting laid off, like 51%, you don't change the baby steps or stop doing them for general worry or because you watch the news too much. That is not a good reason. There has to be a legitimate 51% chance that you will lose your job. And so if the economy crashes, you deal with it at the time. You have to buy cheaper stuff. Buy not as much stuff. Let's see. So, because if the economy crashes, 20,000 is only going to last you so long. And, you think it's going to, right when your 20,000 is over, you think it's going to choose to come back immediately? Just because you had 20,000? No. Please help me get past my fear. Yeah, stop watching the news if you're watching the news. College student that makes around $2,400 a month and usually save $1,000 per month. Thanks. How to get past your fear of that? Just to think what is the percentage that it crashes and what's the percentage that it doesn't. People, the freaking rich dad poor dad guy. I think about a year and a half ago now. I think it was like in February. No, it was in December, and he said by that May, it would be down. The market would be down 80%. And instead, it went to a new high. So he's stupid. He's dumb. And he keeps doubling down on that. Eventually, he'll be right. And then he'll be like, I was right. See, I was right the whole time. but eventually he'll be right. But the problem is, some people are smart where they just say, oh, there's going to be a crash. Of course there is. Yes, there will be a crash. Nobody knows when it's going to happen, though. So you can't time that stuff. So, I mean, you can choose to worry about that. You can keep that on hand and keep your debt around. That's up to you. And then you're not doing the baby steps. You're doing whatever plan you want to do. But if you want to get out of debt the fastest you can, you would not worry about things out of your control like the economy crashing. You would control what you can control. And so again, I get laid off. If that's just general worry, you do not do anything based on general worry as far as the baby steps, as far as the Ramsey advice. March, I wanted to have a student loan to pay off over to college. If not, then they could be debt-free in a couple of months. That's correct. You right? 1K a month plus payments for braces and auto loan back in their pocket. Also known as emergency fund. That's right. That is correct, Marshall. Spending too much time. Should spend more. This is baby step 5. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is the next one. My bad. That's my bad. Speaking of, I'm glad I wasn't driving. Speaking of not paying attention. Let's see. Vitade bikini 2 weeks ago. The market tanked but bounced back, thankfully. Yeah, it didn't go that far down. It wouldn't be classified as a crash. Paying off mortgage. I'm a planner, and right now in baby step 2, what I haven't seen is how much extra should I put in to pay off my mortgage early. As much as you can. There's not a... Yeah, so thinking way ahead, again, my best advice is don't think about the other steps until later. Do step 2 and do that instead of, the problem is if you're not working to make extra money to pay off debt, then all you have to you have plenty of time to sit around and think about, well, then I'm going to do this, especially if you're a planner. And this person says they're a planner, so that's happening. So what I haven't seen is how much extra. It's like, okay, so the amount right now that you are putting towards your debt, or you should be, if you're doing the baby steps right, you would be putting the amount of your debt snowball on there. That means out of your take-home pay, you pay all the minimum payments and all your expenses, and then anything left over, then that amount is the snowball amount, and that would go to your debt. So with the mortgage, it would be the same thing. Once you get to steps 4, 5, and 6, so you are doing the 15% in retirement investing, you are addressing kid college if that applies to you, and you are paying extra on the mortgage, and you are taking all that snowball amount, which is everything beyond your mortgage payment, which should be the only debt you would have, and expenses. So that's all you should have at that point, mortgage payment and expenses, and every bit of dollars other than that should be put to the mortgage. Now, what would change that would be in steps 4, 5, and 6, you can put a vacation in the budget. And so you can put less money to the house. That's going to have it not be paid off as fast as it could be, but you're allowed to do fun stuff and fairly expensive fun stuff. When you're on baby step 4, you can go on baby step 4, you can go on the Ramsey cruise, for example. I'm sprinting right now. Have they mentioned that on the show recently? I don't know. Sometimes I get too involved in the chat and don't hear them say everything. So they may have said something about it today. I don't remember them saying anything about the cruise today. They might have. That's right, Marshall. Marshall says when it goes down, we call it going on sale. That's correct. Yep. Marshall's an infant when it comes to investment, but I think your investment broker can buy stocks for cheaper. No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. I've never heard of that, Marshall. Let's see. That's right. The boat and she put the boat emoji and the beach and beach umbrella. They didn't mention the cruise that she noticed either. All right. Miss T. Kenny took FPU, Financial Peace University, in 2006, debt free since 2023. So far, I want to keep it that way. Yeah, well, yep. All you got to do is do it then. You just make sure it stays that way. Debt shouldn't be an option. Again, that's part of baby step 0, is where you say debt's not off the table for options for paying for stuff. Figure out another way. Oh, 2020, not 2023. Was hoping my Investor Pro would be picking up something cheap to increase my investments. No, well, they may. So they may, but anything that they get needs to be making at least 10%. Otherwise, if you're not making 10% on your investments, then you could do better than the SmartVestor Pro is doing by just investing in the S&P 500, because that makes 10% on average per year. And so you could do that by yourself. You don't need any special funds. But hopefully those are all mutual funds, that is. Let's see. I don't know anything really about investing. Right. So they should be all mutual funds. They should be all managed mutual funds for retirement, because those can make more than the index. But especially if it's some kind of crap that, I mean, investors do know what they will get is kickbacks, though, for buying certain investments. That does happen. I am not a SmartVestor Pro, no, just a certified financial coach, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, not a SmartVestor Pro. But I just basically taught myself all about the investing part of it. And if you want to learn, you just go to the YouTube and you put in the search Dave Ramsey investing, and you don't a bunch of things will come up from other YouTubers criticizing his investing plan. You don't read any of that, but everything that he says, all the clips where he says something about investing, listen to him, take notes on there. The short version is what he tells you to look for is something that has at least a 10-year track record and something that makes more than the index, which is 10%. And that's over the long haul, over that long track record. At least, at minimum, 10 years of a track record doing that. And that, now it doesn't have to make 10% every year, it just has to make 10% on average per year. So, yeah, 1%. Yeah, that's what some of them charge flat fees. But most of them, it is a percentage, and about 1, I think, is the normal. Is normal. And some of them, how much did you start out with, Marshall, if you don't mind answering? Because some of them, even the SmartVestor Pros that have been vetted by Ramsey, even some of those won't invest with you until you have like $100,000 of investable assets. Oh, let's see. Did we do planner? Oh. Put every spare dollar towards my mortgage balance when we are ready for that step. And that would be, other than things like if you need to buy tires coming up, you can divert some money from the snowball at that point, which is all going back to you in the form of either paying off your mortgage or paying expenses, etc., etc. That snowball amount, you can put some in a sinking fund to buy the tires, that kind of thing. But other than that, you should, if you're not using it for something else, you don't do like general extra savings beyond the emergency fund. You don't do it for like just in case extra beyond the emergency fund. You don't do that. But you can do specific things. You want to have X amount for Christmas by the time Christmas comes up. You want to have X amount, so you can put X amount in it per month in a sinking fund. And but if you're not doing that, you should pay that mortgage off immediately as soon as you can. And yeah, the guy in the Ramsey Show chat did not want to hear that, wanted to invest more and not pay the house off. And the answer, of course, was to pay the house off today. All right, Fit Library 9783, pay off 15-year mortgage at 2.25%. Yes, and especially with, in recent year, like if you bought a house, 3 or 4 years ago, you could have gotten a great rate like this, 2.25. And now, well, I can put it in a high yield savings account and get 5%, and then I'm making 2.75%. The Ramsey advice doesn't work like that. You don't debt leverage a mortgage in order to invest more. You do not do that. You pay out the house and you don't invest more. Once you pay out the house, then you can invest whatever amount you want. I'm familiar with the baby steps. Are you, though? And understand how that is a cookie cutter recipe for 90% of people who don't have the discipline to make rational. Okay, then why even post in here? Do what you want to do. I don't understand. I don't understand. Just do whatever stupid crap you want to do, and you don't have to run it by anybody. You don't even have to mention Dave in the same sentence with what you're doing. You can just do what you're doing if you're disciplined and you're so smart. Why do you have to get somebody else's opinion on it? You just do it. Real Ad 1811, how to deal with frustration at my boyfriend's finances before moving in together. You don't move in together until you're married, first of all. And so maybe he has to get his finances together before you do get married. And then after that, move in together. 31 female. He's 35 male. I've lived on my own since I was 23, 24. Currently renting a 1-bedroom apartment for $960 with my 2 cats. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Communications and make $53K yearly as a customer service rep. What you go to college for? Generally, as a customer service rep, you don't need a BA in communications. So I would challenge on that. First of all, maybe your finances aren't as together as you think. But that means the boyfriends must be really bad. I have $20K in student loans, finished school 2020, and $4K in credit card debt. What about your finances aren't right either. His may be worse, but yours aren't right either. Only $6K in a 401K, drained it of $25K 3 years ago after my ex moved out, and I was only making $42K. Yep, stupidest thing I've ever done. I know. Yep, you don't do that. You spend less money instead of doing that. Boyfriend went to college at 18, but did not finish after being indecisive on a major. He originally went for engineering. Well, at least he didn't finish and get a Bachelor of Arts in something that he's not using to get a better job. Originally went for engineering like his sister, but then changed to art and other majors. Okay. And not passing a math class, and instead moved back in with his parents to help on their family farm at 22. He's 35 and still living with them. Really? All right. There's more issues than just finances here, for sure. So counseling. Oh my goodness, it's War and Peace here. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it goes on and on and on and on. We're hopefully I want to do Dave Ramsey's plan. You're not doing it by yourself, but your boyfriend has never heard of him. You do it by yourself. You do it. You do it. And you do not move in with him until you get married, and do not marry him until you see if he would get serious about his finances, since it is apparently a deal breaker. I don't know if it's a deal breaker for you. You don't say it's a deal breaker, at least that I saw. I'm not reading this War and Peace thing here. It goes on and on. Oh, too long, didn't read. Here we go. Boyfriend, a lot of debt. How to communicate with him about my goals, and our future. Well, you sit with him with the TV off, with no phone, not looking at any phones, neither of you, and you open your mouth and you talk and you say, these are my goals, this is what I think about our future, etc., etc. That's what you do. It's not that hard as people think it is. So, I mean, you know, you being scared of the answers, because the answer might be he's not your boyfriend anymore. So, you know, that you can have fear because of it. But if you can type it here, you just say that exact stuff here. But my goodness, look at all that. Look at all that. None of it's necessary. None of it's necessary to answer the question. So, yeah. And how you deal with that? Just like if you were married, though. It's the same thing. In any relationship, you communicate, you compromise, and if you can't do either of those two things, then counseling. That's so many words typed. Straight field 9427 finally reached baby step 7. Excellent. We started a debt-free journey a long time ago. A long is 2 words. We have 3 children, 2 now in college. We adopted a child, lived with my parents for a year, finished a master's degree, started a business, outgrew our house, resigned from a pastorate, had cars completely die on vacation, paid cash for kid college, didn't go on vacations, went on vacations, all over the place. Watched our family buy new cars that they couldn't afford, never carried a credit card balance longer than a few weeks. We don't drink the Kool-Aid, shocker, all the way down. Have had surgeries and medical bills for 22 years. We have plodded along, saved our emergency fund up, used chunks of it, saved it up again and again. Today I just sent a transfer to our mortgage company for a mortgage payoff. Excellent. Excellent. Baby step 7. Finally. 22 years is a long time, and how much of it? I mean, it sounds like, you know, you since you didn't swallow the Kool-Aid all the way down, that can make it take 22 years. Because I think I'll let George say that. Sorry for the delay. I need a producer that can do this stuff for me. Okay, so this is what this person is doing, or was doing.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Oh, I don't think you might not have heard that. If it didn't, I don't have it set to go on monitor, but you might have heard George say, "You're doing it wrong," which is my phrase. And he said it in a slightly different context than I did. But anyway, you did hear that? Great. Okay, so I just couldn't hear it. All right. So yeah, I just didn't set it to put output to me. So I'm glad it got to still work for you guys. But yeah, he was saying it for somebody that, oh, what was it? Oh, he was saying because somebody didn't want to spend money. They were like penny pinching, and they needed to spend some money on fun stuff like vacations, and they needed to do giving and such, because they had a scarcity mentality. And he was telling them money is just a tool, and if you're not using it as a tool, you're doing it wrong. And of course, I I made him say it 3 times in a row because it was just a short clip of him just saying you're doing it wrong. So fun times. Glad it worked. Illustrious code 6284. People calling about purchasing McLarens, and that is a very expensive car. No one cares. The guy is a doofus anyway. His worth is 1.2 million, and he's about to spend 20% of that on a car. Yeah, I remember that call. People call about dumb stuff all the time. And you know who cared about it was the screener that let it on. And so that's out of our control. So, but this person just wanted to complain, I guess. Because maybe he wants a McLaren and can't buy one. Maybe. Who knows? Second job, what Dave fails to mention. Yeah, let's hear what Dave is wrong about here. Significance Fancy 763. What Dave fails to mention is that you open yourself up to be treated like crap on a second job. Have worked a very cushy high position over 15 years and forgot how horrible managers treat hourly workers. Well, you can get a different side hustle if you are being treated horribly, or you can deal with it if it's worth it to make the extra money and get out of debt or whatever step you're on. Following Dave's advice, I got a second job. It's not enough that I had to leave off work, my work experience and educational background to get the job, but seeing how they treat people with this being their main source of income is atrocious. Okay. Again, you're not going to change that either. So I'm a big fan of accepting the reality of the situation. What you do is you just change your part of it. Like if you don't want to work there, you don't have to work there, but you don't need to worry about it in general, because if you don't work there, it doesn't affect you. Or if you just put up with it, then you get the extra money, then you can get out of debt faster, and then you can quit that job. So disgusting that I'm now studying to become a HR certified professional so I can advocate for better working conditions. Okay, well, that's great as well. That's fine. Often think of suing them, but this lesson of getting out of debt and staying out of debt needs to stick in my brain, so I'm humbled. Exactly. Exactamundo. Cleveland, TA, 1983. Buying a house, wish cash, okay, probably with cash. 41 years old, currently have a net worth of about $900,000, $650K cash. Normally you would say don't have that much in cash, but if you're going to buy a house with it, it does have to be liquid. And $250K retirement. My yearly income is $90,000. That's some good saving then. Where'd the $650 come from? Ended up with a lot of liquid cash after sale of a previous home. Okay, that is one way to do it. Currently renting, but looking to buy a new home with an all cash offer. That's fabulous. And, you know, here lately, that doesn't really get you much off of it, but sometimes it can. If you say, I got cash for you right now. But more and more, they're not caring because the loans and stuff like that, there's kickbacks on that and such, and the money can be transferred fairly fast. I'm looking at homes in the 550 to 600K range. Okay, you got that much cash. As long as you have so that leaves 50K emergency fund. You should have a 6-month emergency fund before you buy a house instead of just 3 months, even though you're single, because houses do have expenses and things that break on them. Should I spend that much cash? It's up to you. You don't have to. You can go down to a 400K house, and I bet it'll be fine for one person. And so this is the problem. This is a problem. If you try to plan for the future, it's like, well, I will meet somebody and then we'll adopt or whatever, or have kids at 40 something. You know, it is possible. If you say that and you're doing that, but I mean, if you're buying extra bedrooms for somebody, like for relatives to come over once a year, like there was an ad for, I think, like a Quicken loan to buy a house and you want, I want a house with, I need a bigger kitchen to host Thanksgiving, which is once a year. You would not do that. So you would also not buy 4-bedroom houses if you are single. You would not do that. No need to do that. Should I spend that much cash? No. I mean, you certainly can. If you're on step 7, you certainly can do that. But there is no need to do that. Keep more cash and get a small mortgage? No. 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 Again, step 0 is where you decide you're not doing debt anymore and you don't get a mortgage so you can have extra cash laying around. That's not the deal. If you run into problems, you can always, and this is not definitely not advised, but then you can always get a HELOC on the house or something like that. And then you can go back into debt, which also is not advised, but you don't have to plan to fail by getting a mortgage and having extra savings other than the emergency fund. That is not advised. The price range being too high, no. I mean, the mortgage, let's see, 90. Okay, so if you went just for your mortgage, what the mortgage amount would have to be would be, what is that, 180 and 45. So a $225,000 house based on your income is what you're looking at. 225,000, well, not even that, $225,000 mortgage. So you could actually put that 650 down on it and have a 225,000 mortgage. If you needed to buy that much house, you don't need to buy that much house if you are just one person. I'd love to hear other opinion. I've listened to Dave for many years, and I haven't heard his opinion on this exact topic. Well, you never buy more than you need, and you don't plan out for like the whole entire future because you don't know what the future is. So you buy a house, and then if you do meet somebody, especially if you're a man, you're not as a single guy, you are not picking out the house that your wife wants. So that will have to be done later. So you can pick something that you like right now, and it only needs to be big enough for just you if it's just you. And then you can change houses later when you sell it. And then you'll get all that money back when you sell it because you bought it cash and you didn't get a mortgage on it. All right, let's see. HR background, you can do payroll for a second job. That's right. That's right. Just want, people sometimes they just want to bitch sometimes. They just want to bitch. I mean, that it is Reddit after all, so you can't expect people not to be bitching about stuff. Need more info like monthly costs, taxes, insurance, utilities, HOA, maintenance. Yeah, and you definitely got to consider all that as well, the associated costs with it. And yeah, that's exactly what. He wants to know how much percentage of his net worth should be in the house. I'm guessing 25-30%. I don't see where they ask for percentage of net worth, but I mean, it's definitely a related question. Definitely related, but again, assuming step 7, you can do whatever you want, no matter, even if I think it's too much house for one person. I don't think that's a 1-bedroom house or even 2-bedroom house that is that price, but you never know. It depends where she is. If she's in San Francisco or something like that, somewhere in California or in Boston or something like that, it very well could be. I don't know. Crazy places like Denver, Colorado, something like that. And so, but I think she's looking at stuff like that's multiple bedrooms. And what do you need the multiple bedrooms for? I mean, you could start a podcast and make one into a podcast studio, maybe something like that. Waste start 8578. Feeling hopeless, financially drowning. All right. Completed Financial Peace University about 5 years ago, and I made progress. Then what? Then things fell apart. How? And I made some terrible mistakes. That's how they fell apart. Did they fall apart first, or you made terrible mistakes first? Which one happened first? Took out loans to get out of an abusive long-term relationship. Yep, didn't take care of my mental health and succumbed to a gambling addiction. Already in debt over six figures, including student loans. Then so just made it worse. 60,000 predatory loans, payday and online lenders. Yep, filing Chapter 13. That's bankruptcy, and I'm paying 100% of my debts. Okay, I can't sustain it. I'm about to fail the bankruptcy on a doomsday clock. Yeah, so that's why you don't sign up for that, to do that. That's dumb. You don't want to do that. You don't want to agree to sign. I mean, because you're just pushing it down the road. And that's what people do with credit cards as well. They like start moving it from one zero balance to another zero balance. Eventually, it's going to have to be paid. And if you it keeps going up and up and up and up, and the interest keeps going up and up and up and up, and then you won't have enough money to pay for it. And so, and then you did the same thing with the bankruptcy. So yeah, all kinds of dumb stuff. Definitely doing it wrong. No savings because Chapter 13 budgets don't allow. Yeah, every penny of my free income goes to the trustee. Yep, gonna have to default on it. Yeah, I don't have any advice for this. You're going to default, so you just got to deal with whatever the repercussions of defaulting on that are. And then, hopefully you can get in a better place somehow. But I don't know what happens on a bankruptcy Chapter 13 default. I don't know what happens on that. Boo, 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 boo. I don't think his step 7 is done. He needs... What does he have in retirement? Is that this person? Retirement is 250. $250K in retirement. So yeah, I mean, you can be in step 7 and still be doing the 15%. And at 41, you should absolutely still be investing in retirement. So yeah, and that is a great idea. Get a smaller house and put a big chunk of that 650K into retirement. Add it to retirement. So yeah, that's a good thought there. But yeah, I just breezed by it because I said, okay, he's working on it, 41 years old, so it'll get higher. Alrighty, once again, Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money here, and it's youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, scroll down on that page, answering your financial questions. That's the weekend stream, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday and Sunday. And I just do questions. I don't sing or talk about. I sing just a cappella, maybe a couple, one line or something like that. But I don't like sing with music. I don't talk about the market unless it is specifically related to a question that's asked. I just answer questions on that one. And of course, this show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, and this is through September. This is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, right after the Ramsey Show video ends on YouTube and leaves to go to the app. And it does that approximately 5:25 Eastern time. And I said, this is number 388. And the music playlist, and including the Rachel Cruz song, which I sung earlier today, and the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song, which is the newest one. Probably the best video I have is a lyric video for it, and that would be "You Belong Dead Free, You Belong Dead Free." And so that you can listen to that one. Like I said, 11 total Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including what is currently applicable as well. Dave Cation certainly deserves it. So give that one a listen as well, if you are so inclined. Alrighty, restart the plug, scroll. Again, I'm Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and you can schedule a free coaching consultation with me. Yes, free. Calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You could email me about said coaching or any other question about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. The upcoming streams, as I said, answering your financial questions, and that is Saturdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I might move it back an hour, but 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's go with that. And the Ramsey Show Aftershow show is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:25 p.m. when the Ramsey Show video ends. And on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do a Ramsey Show chat refugee stream, which is not me necessarily doing a show, but I normally do try to at least play a video game or do have some kind of content happening just to provide a place for people to chat. Alrighty, and thank you so much for watching, those doing that live, and also anybody that will be doing it later. You are very welcome, Miss T Bikini. Yep, the 250K, yeah, 41, you're not done with, definitely not done with investing. Marshall says, see you at 4 p.m. on the Ramsey Show. That would be the Eastern Time start for that. All right. Miss TV Candy said I was helpful. Said thanks, and you are so very welcome. That's why I became a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. Alrighty. I'll plug that. Yep, did everything. Alrighty. So make smart financial decisions every day.